Arctic Basecamp is at COP26 because what happens in the Arctic doesn't stay there. We brought a real Arctic Basecamp tent and a real iceberg from Greenland in order to remind world leaders and delegates that what happens in the Arctic doesn't stay there. The Arctic is in crisis. It's warming 3 times the rate of the global average. And this iceberg is just the tip of the iceberg of the climate emergency. So whatever happens in the conference in terms of the final negotiation text, we know that this is only going to save future icebergs and certainly not this one. Arctic Basecamp is in Glasgow at COP26 because what happens in the Arctic doesn't stay there. We brought a real iceberg from Greenland in order to remind world leaders and delegates that when they're inside negotiating in the conference center, the Arctic is outside melting. This is the tip of the iceberg of the climate emergency, and the decisions they make inside the conference will determine the fate of humanity, because what happens in the Arctic doesn't stay there.
In general, it's being lost, but there are sites where it's stable or growing. So it's not a you can't tell a nice storyline about that. You know, it quickly becomes a scientific discussion. So
you mean I've got to rip up my speech in which I mentioned the Siberian fire?